Final race of the 2022 season in the FIM Supersport World Cup. 3 moves to Superbike for Stefano Manzi and Niki Tooley before their change of manufacturers this winter. And the last race of Gilles Cluzel's motivation. Loads of reasons for riders up and down this grid to put in a...
It's done as quickly as possible over the course of 18 laps. We've had it where the rain's coming, and Supersport riders are certainly going to have one eye in the skies and one eye...
Who pulled up after the warm-up lap yesterday has been withdrawn this afternoon due to a tyre pressure infringement. So Ticini starting from the outside now of row number 8. As for the front runners, he's got back-to-back titles in the bag, but Lorenzo Baldassarri, the campaign.
And it is one of those situations with the next-gen rules where we've seen each the different. Keen to make sure he can back that up with another strong performance today.
That promoted Chan On-Chu up onto the podium, making it a 1 and 3. Second World Championship, and each of the Supersport awards are now settled, and it's just for the race victory. We've had 5 different winners so far, the only manufacturer that haven't yet taken to the top step of a 2022.
He's been one of the form riders in the class over the last 4 rounds.
Caricasulo, Bulliger and Montella, your front row. The final race of the 2022 season here down under gets underway. It's a good start from Dominic Egerton from the second. Nicolo past him and into second position. Lorenzo Baldassarri actually is now leapfrogged Dominic Egerton and into 5th place. Chan On-Chu moving up and into P6. So the MV Augusta, the lone remaining MV Augusta, whole series of positions as Nicolo Bulliger hits the front once again. Caricasulo
so making a small mistake around this track, and for Dominic in this final sector.
Bumping between the 2 Kawasaki Pacetti riders, On-Chu and Montella to the alley. The top 4 have been able to break away.
Yeah, too keen to prove a point after yesterday, probably for Montella.
And that's the end result. Chan On-Chu has come down.
The field, Ducati having their way right now, but keep an eye on Dominic Aguilar.
Dominic to win race 2, looking to do the same again, and he has hit the front. Caricasulo was Nicolo Bulliger in 2nd place. Chan On-Chu, as you can see, has frustrated with his act together now in 5th position, back ahead of Stefano Manzi. Seconds now down on this man, Federico Caricasulo, who sits 4th.
Tricky conditions out there. There's a big wind into turn 1. That's why we saw a lot of riders changing positions.
But once again, it's the familiar sight of the 7 and the 77 going handlebar.
Season where we saw Aguilar and Baldassarri go bar to bar all the way through that weekend. They've opened up a bit of a gap to the Ducatis behind them. Obviously, 1 win apiece. Lap
number 3, it's Baldassarri who's been able to hit the front. So in 3rd is to drop back now, and it's Jari Montella on the march, the fastest of anyone last time around. 1 minute 34.8 for him. It was a 1:30. So Jari Montella closing the gap to that lead quartet.
He's not closing the gap, he's in that.
Of Pacers, he's up to 6th position. Baldassarri streaking away now on lap 3 from Dominic Egerton. Casulo, it looks as though Bulliger and particularly Montella is provisional podium places.
Yeah, Montella on the 55 Kawasaki can put his bike anywhere, imagine.
The riders in front of him, we saw him perform admirably for his first podium and first race victory here 24 hours ago. He's trying to do that against Bulliger on the brakes. So your new race order on lap number 4 is Caricasulo relegated to 4th and Bulliger down to 5th. So Ducati's chances of their first race victory.
Good was Montella on that run through the first sector, but you can see behind this close right up.
And this could well be a race-long duel now between the 2 Yamahas at the head.
That instant went On-Chu, so we'll see what happens for that.
Well, the worst possible outcome as far as Manuel Pacetti and his team are concerned, if there does end up being a penalty for the race lead, does Egerton against Baldassarri once again, but one
instant between Manzi and Sumer that caused a penalty for Manzi, so certainly we'll keep an eye and see if anything happens to Montella.
In they come towards turn. Caricasulo is going with them as well. Last time over the line at the end of lap, very much bringing himself
group except for Montella, and only a few hundreds between them.
Raffaele De Rosso just in the background of your picture there as Stefano Manzi launch position. Another characteristic ride from him on the Triumph, never afraid to
notification. Jari Montella up there, P4 right now. He's going to have a long lap penalty here at Phillip Island.
And quite possibly the slippery line as well. Is going to have to lose the absolute minimum time there to keep himself. Lap penalty would usually offer 5 or 6 riders if he takes any longer to serve it than those 3 seconds. So Montella needs a good lap before he serves it. The podium hunt just yet.
Yeah, you can see at the back of this group, though, Bulliger has been passed by Shaw, who really is keeping the Yamahas honest at the front.
The trend of recent rounds as far as Nicolo Bulliger lead group, but he does very, very well there to in 7th position. He'll be advised order then on lap number 6 after that penalty. It's Lorenzo Baldassarri who leads us by, but not by much, over Dominic Egerton in 2nd place. Less than 2/10 to Federico Caricasulo in 3rd. Stefano Manzi on his tail, so it might not be long before Montella begins to make progress for Doohan. Egerton makes the pass to hit the front once again. Baldassarri relegated straight into second place, just 0.4 of a second over the line at the end of lap number.
He lost 0.8.
Know about it, the fact that Stefano Manzi is concerned as we go side by side on the race, comes down at a crucial corner. He can't quite believe it, and after all the hard work of making his way through the contest.
Yeah, it's a shame for Manzi, a shame to end the season that way. It's been such a
far. That gap is now down to a second as the Yamahas continue to scrap it out for top spot. Here, turn 12, Baldassarri comes lap number 8. These two scrapping with one another keeps Federico Caricasulo, two race leaders again side by.
Picking up a lot of time there on the run down in towards turn 1, but look at Tommy Aguilar just able to sweep around the outside through 1 and 2. Just look
as Federico Caricasulo's bold move came unstuck there on Dominic, who's got a bite between himself and the 2022 world champion. Caricasulo with a bit of a moment there, falling from a battling position.
To see if there's a little bit of you get down to turn 4.
Yes, Manzi was then left open and Caricasulo comes back through.
And look at how everyone's closing up again. Mulligan's gotten through on Marcel Schroeder just now, but they hadn't managed to get that gap this lap.
It's Caricasulo in particular who seems to be able to make those moves in towards Bulliger. This is strong riding as far as Bulliger is concerned, as Baldassarri comes back through now for second position. Caricasulo relegated to third place, gradually dropped back in the first half of Rotterdam, struggled throughout the weekend in the dry here today. This is much better
performance compared to the Ducati Suite being able to make that move. Now for Bulliger, it's about trying to make sure you can go with Montana.
Penalty for a collision with his teammate Chan On-Chu in the early stages, who is his hand in terms of the Grand Prix paddock, but a newcomer to this series, and quitting him. The gap down to just 1/10 of a second as they come up. The best lap from Dominic Egerter, escapes with a gap of over a second for the win. See if he can hold it this time around.
Dominic Aguilar, we've seen all the way through the last 2 years. You can't give Aguilar that much space at the front. Right now, it is only this man.
One way around that Miller corner earlier on. He's making up for that lost time, the immediate podium battle, but he is only 2.3 seconds behind Dominic Egerter and only 1.2 now.
Supersport debut, brand new bike, new qualified on the third row of the grid, so a really strong performance on bike.
Yes, Nicky Tooley, of course, to finish inside the top 5 or 6 positions. If he can hold on for it after his spill yesterday, it will be a mammoth achievement as we come into start lap number through for 4th position. He's got 1.5 seconds of clean air now. Up the
rider group as well, so he's in a big battle with the likes of Van Stralen, Bayless, Andy Bergoya, and the Super.
Yes, we'll see how Clousdale gets on, I'm sure, at the end of the secondary group, because Nicolo Bulliger now rather in their boxing match. Marcel Schroeder leaves the way open for Nicolo Bulliger on the 3 riders ahead of him, and on lap 11 so far, he's failing to do so.
What we've seen all the way through this race is, though, he has 2 seconds to make up on Balda to get himself back into the podium spots. And
2, barring incidents, up at the head of the field. Let's see what Caricasulo's been able to do this lap around. He is Montella holds firm because it did look as though Nicolo Bulliger had the corner. Montella had other
best rider of all through turns 1 and 2 all the way up on Baldassarri, so he can't afford to get himself into a scrap.
As we come through at Miller corner, once for 4th position, but they're getting further and further adrift of that podium battle. Number 12 to see if he can try and hunt down Federico Caricasulo. Caricasulo, meanwhile, has lost half as he is still in the background of that shot, Raffaele De Rosa, because it does look as though he's still in the Supersport World Champion of the field, ahead of Federico Caricasulo. Baldassarri now a second behind, so the gap's opening out on that lap 12. Uzel versus Andy Verdoya, and Verdoya looking. Yes, and Verdoya will be moving on for next season. GMT 94 not retaining him in the Supersport class for next year and with another team. But for now, Andy Verdoya staking his move back into the top 10 place.
The World Championship action, it's never easy, but he's been Supersport.
Bayless top 10 finisher on 3 occasions this season so far. Race 2 in the in Manicourt as well, but he'll be glad to do it in front of home fans. Still a battle raging behind for 4th position. Bulliger's back through on Montella, and Bulliger makes that move stick this time around on Lorenzo Baldassarri.
Yeah, both of these riders would be pretty decent outing for them, and certainly for Montella it's been the high mark of the season for him, but you have to look at
Raffaele De Rosa's closing down Marcel Schroeder now for 6th position. Talked about De Rosa previous experience. He's bringing himself back into contention at least for 2nd place, and this group 2, and Schroeder falling into the clutches of De Rosa behind.
Yeah, and for Rafa, again, like you said, Alex, just coming good in the races, quite where he would have wanted to be.
And also San won, but came close. He's definitely in position. That's where the closest fight is, although De Rosa losing some ground there on the final sector of lap number 14. Looks to have made it up now. He is
with learning an awful lot about Pirelli tyres. He's up against one of the most experienced riders.
That speed through turns 5 and 6 on the tail now of Schrotter, the number 92, about to make his full-time debut. He, of course, was a mainstay of previously. Just a bit of a moment.
Group now, they're pushing on. Top 6 finish in the wet conditions, but to see him up there, experienced riders behind him like Cluzel, Andy Verdoya, former race winner in the class, and Glenn Van Stralen, who's been
Andy Verdoya, a very much full wet race that was eventually contained. Chasing down Ollie Bayliss, he's got the young guns all around him, look. The experienced campaigner, second in the all-time appearance records in these 94 teammates of him, and Glenn Van Stralen directly behind him. The young guns giving a bit of a clues out.
Yeah, and certainly for Andy Verdoya, you'd hope he's going to find some.
Phillip De Rosa, who is now in front of Marcel Schrotter, so that did look like a matter of time. Schrotter brings this one safely home. It'll be a solid P7 and at least a World Championship.
Yeah, good debut weekend for Schrotter, and he'll certainly have a lot of knowledge now going into the winter about what to expect over the course of how to
is penultimate to the riders behind as they come over the ride last time around. His margin, Ollie Bayliss, the home hero, back to the front of this group. Jules Cluzel now down into 11th position, so Cluzel
pick off some riders.
Well, this is what he's going to miss out on in the future, of course, the enjoyment at the peak of his powers, but it's retirement from the Supersport World Championship as far as Jules Cluzel is concerned. He has got a young with another baby on the way, so Jules Cluzel currently through this penultimate.
Bayliss still doing a really impressive job here. He's obviously got a lot of experience.
And the point is, of course, he'll have experience of the other venues in a future season, as far as at least first racing visit to many of the circuits that he has attended in 2022. Concerned with Bayliss, Verdoya, Van Stralen and Cluzel in that order. Up at the head of the field, it's largely settled, although you'd have to say second that was swift progress on the tail of Nicolo Bulliger. There's a chance that fourth position will up his pursuit of the three young guns in front of him on this final lap.
Verdoya, and that might be all that he needs.
Yes, Verdoya looks more under pressure from Glenn Van Stralen. It's Dominic Egerter and another circuit. 2 years in the Supersport World Championship. He's won at all of them. Dominic Egerter wins race 2 of the Grand Ridge Australian round. Best lap holding on ahead of Jari Montella for best of the rest. Then it's De Rosa ahead of over, now be received by his team as well as all of the paddock when he makes his way back. But the celebrations begin in earnest now. Moves over to a Yamaha project in the Superbike World Championship as a
run score at Most as well, and you have to say that certainly from what we've seen all the way through this season, he has been the rider to beat.
Race winner in 2022, but I'm quite sure that that will come. Opening on the podium in first and third places. Final Supersport race of his career as he closes out. He was second in his first Supersport season 2012. He was second again in tibia that ended his 2015 season. Another leg injury at the start of 2017. A triple fracture to his left foot at the end of 2018. That has had throughout his Supersport career, but plenty of wins and plenty of podiums. He will leave second in the all-time rankings for both appearances and podiums.
You do have to say that for Cluzel, he will retire as a legend in the class. To change his gear shift to be on the wrong side, he's had to learn a little bit too much for him, it seems, and just to get himself into the fight at the front. We didn't really see it too often, other than at
the circuit as well, and they're taking a little bit of extra track.
It's another race that he can't quite get that first win of the season, but you have to say that the second half of this year he's made such big steps with that Ducati.
At the moment, just enjoying his final race of the season. Fitting really in Portimao. He did it in Indonesia and he has done it here in Australia. So Dominic Egerter coming up with yet another race victories earlier on in this season. And as far as Egerter, a bit of a, well, I say a little bit, that's a big bit of a burnout as Jules Cluzel
is down there. He's got everyone that is keen to lap that one up, and he was able to keep himself in a good battle all the way.
Absolute peak, just a year away from what ultimately is his retirement from the championship. So it's not been a long drag in results from race 2 of the Grand Ridge Brewery Australian round. Dominic Egerter is Nicolo Bulliger, who takes that 4th spot. Montella recovering to 5th place. Rafael De Rosa passing Marcel Schrotter as the race went on and 4 latter stages as well. As for the championship, Federico Caricasulo. Another win Teams Championship, Tenkate and Peter Sebastian down in 13th. Well, that's all from the 2022 FIM Supersport World Championship. We'll be back racing on the 25th of February.
Oke guys, welcome back to my channel guys. Kali ini kita mau coba game dari MXPS ATV guys. Coba ngetril karena sekarang. Oke, ini lama banget loadingnya. Oke, ini di Pin Hill Amatur Nasional. Oke, kita akan start nih guys. Start on the way. Ngetril men, ini ngetril men. Kacau sekali, kacau ini, kacau. Posisi 56. Woi, ngetril amatur ini guys, kelas amatur. Ini siapa aja ridernya juga gak hafal. Yang penting kita coba aja enjoy ngetril guys. Out of track. Delosor men. Ada yang delosor. Ini pink ini men, pakai pink. Siapa namanya Jennifer. Di overtake men, overtake saja. Oke ini. Nyandet. Jalan yang mana ini? Ngepas mesinnya men, mesinnya ini men, nggak ngepas, nggak rusak. Oke ini start. Woi, mencolot. Di jalanin men, bingung aku men, jalannya membingungkan ini men. Sulap, cisuk kali ini. Masih pagi buta ini guys. Woi. Ini lap kedua. Ini gas tok ini. Out of track. Nggak boleh out of track men. Di overtake lagi oleh Jennifer. Di overtake lagi men. Woi, ngetrail. Woi. Pakai gaya men, aku juga bisa gaya. 12-an. Tabrak aja. Woi, ngetril tinggi. Woi, final lap. Oke, kita kejar itu Jennifer. Kenceng ini man. Ini Jennifer kenceng banget itu. Tapi kita kejar, berusaha kita kejar. Ini pembalap MotoGP guys. Terus balapan ngetrail guys. Crash sepertinya Jennifer. Jalannya guys, sangat ini. Ini jalan di pedalaman guys, di pelosok sebuah negeri guys, negeri dongeng. Turunan. Ngeri. Ini kalau udah bener udah jatuh. Di overtake malah. Pakai gaya men. Oke ini men, finishnya men. Dan kita berhasil memenangkan lomba kali ini dengan motor Honda. Wih, naik podium guys. Wih, oke, free resort. Legend. Wah, nomornya legend guys. Dan berbowler dengan speed Oke, kita nggak tahu nama-namanya, nggak hafal. Oke, jangan lupa inilah hasil race-nya kali ini. Jangan lupa like, comment, dan subscribe.